First, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Hello, everyone. This is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. Thanks to you so much for joining us. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom, and we appreciate everybody who joins us. As I mentioned, we are here from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. every weekday. We cover a wide range of topics, but today we're talking about something that probably interests a lot of people watching across the spectrum, and I'm talking about Oregon seafood. There is an event coming up from Blue Foods Forum that is going to be something that you can go to and celebrate all the various styles of seafood and different things that you can get here in this state and beyond. And we want to talk about that now, about this forum and just what that means and all these things, because there's so many things that need to be covered during this. Joining us to do so, we have our guest here, Alanna. Thank you so much for being here with us. And, I want to start off, if you wouldn't mind, before we get into everything else, could you tell us just a little bit about yourself and your involvement in this industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me. So my name is Alanna Kieffer. I live on the Oregon coast, and I'm a marine science educator. So I have a background in marine biology and have spent the past decade, a little bit longer, in the field in educating people on the beaches, in our intertidal ecosystems, and more recently around Oregon-specific seafood. So I was a co-founder of Winter Waters, which is our month-long statewide seaweed and seafood culinary series that happens in the month of February. And just last year, we kicked off the Blue Foods Forum, which is happening Sunday and Monday next week. So coming up very soon.
Yeah, that's a lot of different hats that you have on there, but all kind of revolving around, that main theme of just Oregon and, the richness that we have here when it comes down to that. So you mentioned the Blue Foods Forum, and to give everybody an idea of that, would you mind letting us know, what is the Blue Foods Forum?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Blue Foods Forum is 2 days of programming that we have. Now it's about 4 different events in those 2 days. And it's really an event that we're hoping inspires people to continue this amazing work that's happening in Oregon around blue foods. Blue foods are just foods that come from the water. They're not foods that are blue necessarily, but we think of fish, we think of seaweed, we think anything and everything that revolves around the water. And there's a lot of work being done right now to make sustainable food industries in Oregon and beyond. And so this event is both a public-facing evening, Seafaring Speakeasy, where we come together just to celebrate the amazing blue foods and seafoods that we have in Oregon, and then more of an industry-focused conference where we work together to inspire each other, but also try to figure out some of these solutions and innovative projects going on around the state.
And when it comes to understanding some of those different projects and different things that are happening around the state, and for blue foods, now understanding what that terminology is, what are some of the biggest projects or things that are happening when it comes to blue foods?
There's a lot that's happening. There are, new aquaculture projects hitting the Oregon coast. So we have both seaweed farms and urchin ranches that are on our working waterfronts to bring new foods to the Oregon coast. There are food hubs that are popping up in different locations. The Central Coast Food Web, for example, which are, these multifaceted processing facilities and collaborative spaces where both fishermen and small producers can rent equipment, rent commercial kitchen space, and kind of lower some of those entry costs to a lot of the production work that goes on. So there's a lot of really amazing projects, 100% fish utilization projects happening where people are making fish leather out of fish skins and bone broths out of the bones from fish. So it's a wide range and a wide spectrum, and we're excited to get a lot of people in these rooms together talking about them and celebrating them.
And this is going to be something that people can experience too. And all of those projects that you just mentioned, that's really fascinating and interesting. When it comes to not only the food aspect of it, of the culinary aspect, how important are these kinds of developments and projects for the economy of Oregon?
They're really important. So a big sponsor and the 2 partners in the Blue Foods Forum is the Oregon Coast Visitors Association and their project, the Oregon Ocean Cluster. And they have really done a lot of analyses over the past few years to see how much Oregon coast food plays into our local economy and our tourism economy. And looking at the ways that people spend money on the Oregon coast, a lot of it is centered around food. And the more that we can keep Oregonians or visitors to the Oregon coast buying and eating locally caught seafood from Oregon's waters can really play a huge part in our local economy. So we're really just trying to uplift the food that comes out of our own waters. And I think a big step of that for me that I love is to educate consumers on how to be a part of that and better decisions to make around our food overall.
So when somebody comes to this event that they can be a part of and to try some of these things, what are some of the big things that you want them to take away and learn about when they go there?
I think a huge thing is just how many seafoods are coming from the Oregon coast, how many different kinds of seafood we have, but also how sustainable the Oregon coast seafood industries really are. We have really, really amazing gear and seasonality to our different seafoods that are available. And I think seeing in this room how many people and how many partners there are and getting that seafood from the ocean to your plate really plays a role in inspiring you to make better decisions around seafood or to source seafood from a specific location. So for this event, we have both artists and chefs coming together, and our chefs are each paired with different seafood items from around the state, and they'll be creating different dishes. We have artists coming to hang holographic kelp displays. So we're really, trying to make it this culinary walk through a kelp forest where you're getting to eat amazing food, but you're also feeling kind of immersed in this ocean ecosystem that we have.
That sounds fun. That's like a really interesting experience. Okay, I have to ask, when it comes to the food side of things, for people coming to the Speakeasy, can we have maybe an example of a couple of things they could try?
Yeah, so we have Chef Kari, who is the owner and operator of Hayward Restaurant in McMinnville, coming to do a Dungeness crab unigiri with Oregon dulse seaweed. We have Jacob Harth and Joseph Papas doing a uni dish with Oregon dulse as well. So that uni is being utilized from the Uni Sea Ranch, which is an urchin ranch down in Newport. We have sablefish and albacore tuna being featured. There's a lot of different seafoods. We have a lot of different oyster dishes coming. We'll have fun seaweed cocktails as well. So you can try about 8 different kinds of seafood on the menu that night.
That sounds amazing. And for people who want to participate in the Seafaring Speakeasy, how do they go about doing that?
So the Seafaring Speakeasy is happening on Sunday evening from 5 to 9 p.m. We have all of our events up on winterwaterspnw.com, where you can see the rundown of each event, part of the Blue Foods Forum and beyond, and register straight from that website.
And final thing here for you too, Alanna, because that's a lot that we just covered right there. So there's a lot that people can dig into, and obviously attending the event and all the great things it does. But what do you think is the most important thing the general public should know about Oregon seafood as a whole, or blue foods in general?
I think just the sustainability around them and the accessibility that we have to them, right? They're coming from our own backyards, and knowing where you can access that seafood, whether it's directly from a fisherman or it's supporting your favorite restaurant, is a huge piece to the puzzle. So asking questions about where seafood is coming from and where you can find it is really important, and making those small steps every day to support our local economies.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much. And just looking at those images, it does make me hungry, but great to learn, just more about that. And thank you very much for having time to join us here too, to talk about all of this. And congrats on, putting this all together. I know that's a lot of work, putting these events together and bringing all these people together and all the aspects of it, but clearly successful, and people just keep wanting to have more of it. So thanks for being here with us to talk about it.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I hope to see you there.
Yeah, fantastic. And for everybody joining us too, this is Fox 12 Now. We are live streaming here out of the Fox 12 Oregon newsroom. We're here every weekday, as I mentioned, and we've got more this afternoon. If there's breaking news that happens, I'll be here for you with that as well. But for now, we will take a break. I'll talk to you soon. I'm Greg Nibbler. This is Fox 12 Now.